here we are. Nice to have a chance to talk to you, Peter and
morning.
Jaycee.
Hello.
Good morning to you. First of all, can you tell us a bit about yourselves, who you are, and introduce yourselves to the audience?
Yeah, sure. Hi, my name's Peter Carlos. I'm a veterinary technician, registered vet tech in California. I've been a registered vet tech for 10 years, working emergency. And that's kind of a short intro to me.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, my name's Jaycee. I'm currently working as a vet tech here in California for 4 years now. I'm 20 years old, and I've just been working emergency medicine all 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So why did you decide to become vet techs?
I chose to be a veterinary technician because growing up, I worked in pet stores and around animals a lot. And then I decided I wanted to get away from the retail aspect of it and work more with the animals. I didn't think that, I just didn't enjoy working with the associate side of it. I wanted to work caring for the animals. So I decided to go back to school. I actually went to Carrington College versus some of the other ones I looked at, like Penn Foster and things, and local JC schools, like junior colleges. And I got my degree, then I took my test shortly after, and been working ever since.
My route's a little different. I always wanted to be a veterinarian when I was younger, and then my mom enrolled me in the junior college around here, start taking vet tech classes just to get started. And then I ended up liking the vet tech side of things better than the doctor side of things, just when I learned everything. So I actually did the program when I was in high school. I finished. I started as a student here where we currently work. I got hired when I turned 18, and then now I'm just waiting to take my test. So we kind of had two different routes.
Mm-hmm. But that kind of shows the difference in what route you can take to becoming a veterinary technician.
Yeah, that's right. I think there are even more than that.
There's several,
yeah. So can you tell us more about the way you became veterinary technician? Where did you study? Something about your school? Would you recommend your schools?
So I would actually recommend my school. I went to Carrington College. It was close to my home, and it was an accredited facility where it had a lab that I can actually work in. We could bring our pets to school, work on our own pets. It was 4 days a week, like 4 hours a day. And then coming out of it, I felt like I had a better grasp on everything, being able to work in the lab at school. And then I just felt it was a lot better to be in class and doing a lot of that.
He went through an accredited college, and I went through a non-accredited college. So he did internships and externs. Yeah. And then I had to collect the hours on my own. So that's kind of how I got placed here. So you have to do like 4,416 hours before you can qualify to take your test. So I think it takes a little bit longer for us.
I only had to do 300.
Yeah, our hands-on training is pretty much what you do at the clinics when you're being a student and just kind of trying to be hands-on. You learn hands-on in class, but not as much. And then the testing route is, I think, now that I've gone through it, way more difficult because you have to get approved for your hours and they have to prove everything through your school before they'll qualify you for the test. Whereas you just signed up, right?
Mine, I just signed up and I submitted, my transcripts and everything, and I was able to sit for the boards.
Mm-hmm. Nice, good to hear. So people can know what it's like to go to accredited and non-accredited school.
Yeah.
So my next question is pretty interesting. You have a huge following on TikTok. How did you manage that? Why did that happen?
It's interesting. It was in the middle of the pandemic. It was March, and it was slow one day.
Which is so rare for
you don't say that in veterinary medicine.
You'll never have a slow
So
day.
the day before, I had messaged Jaycee and I said, "Hey, let's do this dance I saw on this social media thing." And she's like, "Oh, I know TikTok." So So we practiced it on our
It
lunch.
was the foot dance when like the practice for.
It's like our first video that we
When COVID
posted.
first started, you have to like tap the feet back and forth, and
It was just a silly dance, and we practiced. We did it. We posted it, and we were like, oh, let's start a TikTok where we do humorous things and
we weren't
vet
really
stuff.
like
We had no
planning
idea.
on keeping it going either.
We had no idea
just
what
made
we were
a really
doing.
funny video that people want to
We
practice
kept posting just humorous things, and then we started gaining a following. I think one day we woke up after we posted a cat video and we had like 50,000 followers, and we're like, I think we should switch what we do and try to change this more for like educating and teaching people and showing people what the veterinary aspect is, you know, the behind the scenes of what really happens. You know, we just don't play with puppies and kittens all day. You know, these are real things we see, and that's what we wanted to show people. So it was really just kind of like we just kept posting, and we've been posting every day since the first day we posted. And
I mean, not every video took off either.
So. It's just consistency with us, and we just kept with it, and it's just been a real fun journey.
For some reason, people think it's interesting.
So.
Yeah, I guess many of your colleagues in the field think it's interesting for sure, and probably pet owners have a good chance to learn
to see what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, what goes on once they take our pet into the lab and things like this. So they really enjoy that. And then seeing colleagues, you know, engage with us and seeing that, and you know, asking us, why do you do it that way? And oh, can we do it this way? And things like this. It's good having that communication back and forth and see how things are done elsewhere, because we also follow a lot of veterinary things as well on TikTok.
I think that's all we really follow.
Yeah, we only follow. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. So I hope you get more followers and you educate people and colleagues and pet owners as well to what's happening in veterinary medicine. So you mentioned that you started the channel during the pandemic. What it is like working during a pandemic? I mean, since the start until now, when things are getting a bit easier.
It was very strange.
It was really weird.
I just think the change in starting with a lot of the PPE, wearing a lot of that to start with, and then going through changes with you know, social distancing, and then curbside, working with clients outside, and social distancing. It was a huge change in what we did normally.
And it's weird because, you know, if anybody knows anything about veterinary medicine, usually, especially day in ER, it's never really slow, but it almost was like it was dead for a couple weeks, to where all of us were kind of wondering what was going to happen, and then it just skyrocketed.
When everything first got announced, and you know, the world stopped for a sense, everything just kind of stopped in veterinary medicine. I mean, we had maybe 1 or 2 patients a day, no hospitalized patients, nothing like that, and then all of a sudden, maybe a month later, it was like
we were slammed, and it was
busy,
ridiculously busy.
And that was around the time when people were staying home, like, oh, you have to stay home. So I think people were starting to notice their pets, and that's probably a good thing, because they started to notice all these little,
like, oh, so-and-so's a little stiff in the morning when they get
or they
up.
saw this, or I'm noticing through this through the day, and just busy. And we work at an emergency clinic, so we saw so many interesting things just coming through the door, you know.
And a lot of people that had like regular exams and regular surgeries and puppy plants and stuff, most of that got canceled because I mean, a lot of day practice clinics just kind of shut down.
But being an emergency clinic, we saw so much throughout the day.
We had to finish.
And even now, we're still so very busy.
Yeah.
So we saw it pick up, but it started very different.
And it was almost like all of us were worried about what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Because it was
no one really
dead.
knew.
We've never had it be so dead.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about during that time? How did you work with clients? Curbside, or did you accept pet owners?
We were mostly curbside for a while.
We had investigated doing the telephone calls. I forget what it's called specifically, but we did curbside. You know, the hospital was closed. The rooms were always clean. We went out to the clients, and we did a lot of just the curbside stuff. And then you know, people were very unsure about curbside, because it's like, let me take your pet to the back and we will tell you what was wrong. We'll tell you. So I really felt like there was a disconnect, because you know, we all went in veterinary medicine thinking, you know, we want to talk to pets, we don't want to talk to clients, but that's all we do, is we talk and educate clients. And we lost that link with I feel like and I think we lost a little bit of the care there as well,
I think
because
it was also more difficult for the doctors, because
Yeah.
it was almost like clients weren't really believing what they were saying, so it was just over a phone.
it was just over a phone, or what they could say from a distance, and it was just, I really felt like there was a huge disconnect in the quality that we were passing on. So the most of the masks things here now have been lifted, so we are getting much closer and talking a bit more, and people are starting to come into rooms now. So things have changed, and we're seeing a huge difference with quality and care. The care aspect never changed. I mean, of course, everything's the same back in the lab, but
the
communication is really picked up.
Yeah.
Having that face-to-face conversation rather than through a window or over a phone.
Yeah, that's good to hear that things are going back to normal.
Yeah.
My next question, what are the challenges you face every day as vet techs?
I would say stress. Mostly just, what's the word I'm looking for?
Trying to convey what's needed to clients almost, without making it sound like money. I think that's
the biggest thing with us is, I mean, we have to try to get the clients to understand what needs to be done without them having the aspect of understand, well, it's just, you just want money, or you just want this. So we
especially in emergency medicine,
we get this stress on us from that. And
it's not a planned thing when they're coming in. So
no.
And a lot of times, if it is a more difficult situation, as bad as this sounds, but I think the vet techs get the grunt of it all from the owners.
And I think it really plays into an emotional aspect as well. So it's stress, having that emotional feeling as well. And then, and I think that's what really, having a friend or someone to talk to, or even outside of work, to just vent sometimes is really a great thing.
A creative outlet.
Yeah, or a creative outlet where we can just go on and do things and talk with this and talk things about, because if you just sit with that, it gets really emotional, burnout, things like this, and you just really have to kind of find a way to either talk with someone or vent to someone, or and I think that's where we get a lot of our veterinary humor from, because if we had to have, go from a euthanasia to a puppy plan or to all these things, we couldn't do it. We couldn't, and we have to have that.
And most clients aren't going to know what you dealt with before and what you dealt with after them.
So it's a lot of hiding emotions. It's a lot of stress. It's so much, but it's a career that I wouldn't change. I know you wouldn't.
No, I think we both love our jobs.
So
yeah, good to hear that. So if you could change something about how you do things, your work environment, what would that be? I know you won't change your profession, but if you could change something in the profession.
what would you do for?
I don't know. I think we all just kind of like get along for the most part.
I don't think, I'm trying to think of what I would, we talk about it all the time.
Peter and I are more of the jokesters at work. So we're usually the one that are going around and we're cracking jokes and
trying to uplift everyone and things like this. So I don't think we would change that.
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't think that like the attitude's an issue.
Yeah, no, I think that if anything were to change, I don't think it would be on the side of us as veterinary technicians. I think it would be on the side of clients having the education to understand what they're coming into. Because dogs and cats have every part we have, in a sense. It's just they walk on 4 legs. So yes, we need blood work. Yes, we need regular exams. Yes, we need all these things, because we don't have a magic wand. We can't tell you when you walk through the door that you're going to get this magic pill and the symptoms you see little fluffy having are going to change.
I think kind of like what we found most pet owners liked about our videos was like dental stuff, because there's this stigma out there that, dogs don't need to brush their teeth. Dogs don't have bad teeth. Dogs' teeth don't rot. All these things. And then we're posting these videos and people are like, oh, wow.
I never knew.
My pet needs that. Should I take my dog to the vet? Like, I think there needs to be more of that out there.
I think there needs to be more of an understanding. And I think people need to have more of that understanding of what goes into owning a pet. I think I would do that, because I can't really think of anything that I would change personally.
More client education.
Yeah, client education would be, I would want change on that aspect, on that side.
Yeah, I think that's very important these days for pet owners to be educated for their pets and how to take care of them and what's going on with the procedures their pets are getting and stuff like that. Do you have any advice for future and current vet techs?
We're stick with it. Would be my advice.
Practice.
Because I think we're seeing a huge decline in people leaving the field, whether that's for pay or stress or emotional things going on. I know that here in the States, we have a huge decline of finding veterinarians. And I think the same thing with finding, either registered veterinary technicians or someone in the field like vet tech, or vet assistants. It's just hard. We don't see them, and it's becoming more difficult. So I would say stick with the profession. I know a lot of people are leaving because of the pay, but we're doing it because we love it. And I think,
and not to get sidetracked, my first day of school, I was told we do this because we love the animals, not for the pay. So I think we just kind of have to keep that in our mind.
But I think the world is changing.
Yeah,
that pay is becoming a bigger issue because I've been here long enough to know that pay is the big thing, but you have to stay with it because stress kicks in. Life happens.
I think we go into it for a reason, and we just have to stick with that.
We do. We start all this because we want to work with pets. We want to be around animals. We want to save lives. But then we're here, and I think emotional builds up, stress builds up, working long hours builds up, and all these things. And then eventually there's a breaking point. And I don't think that most of these people who are losing this and going away from it have a strong foundation of communication with friends that work in the field, or talking with people, or having to be able to relieve their stress, things like this. So I think just stick with it. Maybe talk to someone, talk with friends or people in the field.
Maybe that you work with every day.
Because this is what we went into it for. This is what we enjoy, and we're seeing a lot of people migrating away from it. And that's and it's going to make the field harder. It's going to make veterinary medicine harder, and we want to see people thrive in it. We enjoy it. We enjoy doing what we do.
Also, for those vet techs that are just coming out of school, you're not going to be, trust me, you're not going to compare to the vet tech that's been in the field for 10 years.
Yeah. Stick with it.
You're going to need help, and it's just accepting that. I think that's what I had the biggest problem with.
She had the biggest problem, knowing that coming to school, she was a superhero, and I had to teach her everything she knew. Yeah.
It's good that you had someone to teach you and be there for you. So would you like to share the most memorable vet case? Something that comes to your mind? Something that made
Everything that comes to my mind is everything that's more recent, because we've been doing we've been documenting it and making TikToks and videos, but
what about the rubber ducky? The dog that ate the rubber ducky?
Because we were both on that case.
If you've watched our videos
long
in the
ago,
very beginning.
And this was years ago that this happened. This owner, she adopted a dog, and she loved it so much. It was this lab, and she went and she bought all these toys, and all the toys that she bought, the dog didn't want. So what happened is, I think her daughter had these rubber duckies, and the dog was like, "Oh my gosh," and he was loving it, and he carried it everywhere, and then all of a sudden it went missing. So the owner, he swallowed it. So she brought him into the clinic. He wasn't eating for 24 hours, showing symptoms of vomiting. And then we took an x-ray, and on that x-ray, you can clearly see a rubber ducky in his stomach. You could hear us all laughing. We called the client into the radiology, and we're like, "There's your duck." It was so interesting. So the owner elected to start with vomiting first, which we urged not to. It was a big rubber ducky, and the owner was persistent. I don't want to do surgery on it. So against everything, we decided, okay, and we made the dog vomit, and sure enough, it came up with all this food and this rubber ducky sitting straight up on this thing, and we had pictures. Everyone enjoyed it. The owner took it home, and we educated her on we can't have toys like this, and we have to have these pet-approved toys and all this. It was just a really humorous.
We might have to repost that video because it's so.
It was a funny day.
Yeah.
But it was really.
That must have been really funny to see it on the X-ray.
It was perfect.
But but we do right now. We have so many memories of cases because we're documenting all of them. We're,
Yeah.
you know, I'll be doing a dental and here comes Jaycee and she's like, oh, let me get a video of you cleaning those teeth really quick.
Mhm.
Or you know,
We film all of our own videos. There's not
so
somebody that
and the
can
thing
act
is
behind
we
us.
put the pets first. So a lot of the things we can't show, a lot of the things we don't have a part 2 for because, you know, she'll walk up and she'll record doing this and then, you know, and then we have to solve the problem. So we put the pet first because we don't always have our phone. So we have to do that aspect for it first.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to ask you. How in working in an emergency clinic, how do you manage to make all those videos? How do you have the time?
We make the time.
Because I know it's pretty busy in an emergency clinic, so.
So we're a multi-practice. We do equine, we do dogs and cats. So we have 2 wings. We have the west wing and we have the east wing. And on the east wing, we do general practice. You know, it's puppy visits, all this. They have their own doctor. So we go over there and bug them a lot when we want their products and we want to and see their puppies. But then on our side, on the emergency side, we have sometimes we'll have 3 doctors and we're working with 3 rooms. We have 5 rooms total.
And we have surgeries in the mix of that.
And we have surgeries and all these things and sometimes orthopedics. But what we do is we have over 60 employees. So in a single day, we'll probably have maybe 20 people working and it rotates in and out on different sides and throughout the whole hospital. So we have, you know, in the barn, outside, in the hospital, you know, working upstairs, working downstairs. And then what we do is we just, in between cases, you know, we have our phones on us and we'll just say, she'll see me doing something. Oh, let me grab a quick video. I think that'll be educational or let's do this. And it's always in the benefit of the pet because if they're aggressive or they're scared or things like this, we don't want to capture that image. We're not trying to show that we're, you know, hurting pets, which we don't, or that we're stressing pets out in any way. We want to show how to fix something or how to educate people or this happens with teeth or this happens with dogs or, you know.
I think as we've gotten used to it too, we've kind of like almost developed an eye for what people would like. So like, especially our dental videos, if he's doing a dental, I'll come up behind him and just snap a quick video in between my rooms, and then I'll continue rooming my emergencies.
And we do actually sacrifice our lunches that we surprisingly somehow get. We sacrifice our lunches to actually make videos or content or edit, or even when we get off the clock or we clock out, we'll you know, record something or do something fun. At
least once a week, we're usually off the clock working for at least 45 minutes, just filming videos. So. You know,
so do you have anything else you want to add?
I can't think of anything. This year we're going to be doing a lot of things, so a lot of more content we're going to try to put out, but we're going to be going to a lot of the conferences this year. So we're going to be going to, I think, Western States in Vegas. Was that September?
September 6th.
And I think we're going to be doing a lot of the Fetch conferences. So Kansas City, New Jersey, San Diego. Atlantic City. So this is a lot of things that we're going to be doing this year. So we're going to be seeing a lot of people in our field doing a lot of things. So we're excited about that. Getting out, doing conferences, actually being able to do things after the pandemic, traveling, and doing things.
Exciting.
Like getting CEs and continued education, and just getting back out there and doing what we love and learning what we love and things like that.
Okay, that's good to hear. That sounds exciting. Okay, so thank you both for the time. And
you're welcome. Thank you for having us. Thank you.
This was a really nice talk. So we see each other and talk to each other soon on social media.
Yeah.
Looking forward to your new videos and photos that you post. And yeah, stay motivated.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
will. Thank you.